And a very pleasant good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome to another edition of Falcons Baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com. The Klamath Falls Falcons out on the road again today. Game number 5 of a 14-game road trip for the Falcons takes them to Roseburg, the champion car wash field at Bill Gray Stadium, to take on Dr. Randol's Crowns in a non-league single 9-inning affair. Glad to be with you today. My name is Josh Eldridge. The Falcons enter 10-2 on the season overall, winners of their last 6 consecutive ball games. Roseburg enters play 1-3. Not a ton of games to go off of for them, but they split their last league doubleheader against North Coos, and again enter play 1-3 today. Our umpires meeting at home plate with both of our head coaches, which means we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll introduce you to the starting lineups for both teams and get ready for first pitch here on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
And we welcome you back to Champion Car Wash Field on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Want to introduce you to both teams' starting lineups ahead of first pitch, and we'll start with the visitors today, the Klamath Falls Falcons. Leading off for the Klamath Falls Falcons and starting in center field is Max Price, Connor Shively, the shortstop, bats second, Jacoby Takini, the catcher, batting third, Colin Takini, the second baseman, bats fourth, PJ Safford, the third baseman, batting fifth, Ian Meyer, the designated hitter, is hitting sixth. Batting seventh is Corbin Hamilton. He's at first base. Carson Sims is in right field. And Ryan Douglas is in left. Looks like we're going to get the national anthem right now. We'll introduce you to the starters for Roseburg in just a moment on mybasin.com.
It starts to warm up outside, it's time to tackle your lawn. And Kyle's Lawn Care is who to contact. Kyle's been doing lawn care in Klamath Falls for over 9 years. He offers a variety of services designed to make your life easier. Kyle's Lawn Care offers weekly mowing jobs, which includes mowing, edging, and blowing off sidewalks, snow removal, big cleanup jobs, dump runs, and more. At Kyle's Lawn Care, they strive to give each job their all and go the extra mile to exceed their customers' expectations. To get an estimate, you can call or text 541-281-3623. Kyle's Lawn Care.
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
the pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
mybasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. on the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends. Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
And we welcome you back to 104.3 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. Just a few minutes away from Klamath Falls Falcons baseball, live with you in Roseburg. As the Falcons, the visitors today, we've already introduced you to the starting lineup for those Falcons. Let's go ahead and run down the starting nine for the Roseburg Dr. Randol's Crowns. It is Ryland Glasser in center field who leads off. Mason Young, the catcher, bats second. A.J. Black, the left fielder, batting third, followed by the shortstop, Zeb Johnson, hitting cleanup. Preston Sprague at first base bats fifth. Gage Perry, the third baseman, bats sixth. Jackson Tillett, the starting pitcher, batting seventh, followed by Cameron King, the second baseman, hits eighth. And Trenton Perry rounds out the order for Roseburg. He is in right field. They'll be going up against Hayden Poore on the mound for Klamath Falls. Take a look at him a little bit later on. Jackson Tillett is the starting pitcher today for Roseburg. Tillett is class of 2026 for Sutherland High School. Again, only 4 games in of the season for Roseburg, so give you a decent idea of what we can track for Roseburg's pitching statistics this season for Tillett. This will be his second start. His previous start going 4 innings, giving up 13 hits, 9 runs, each of them earned, and he struck out 2 batters in that outing for an ERA of 15 3/4 after his first start. And for him, that came back on June 16th when the Roseburg Dr. Randol's Crowns played the Eugene Ole Athletics. That, again, back on the 16th. So second outing of the season today for Tillett as Max Price gets ready to settle in for the Falcons. Just about ready for baseball today. Of course, the Falcons coming into game number 5 of this long road trip. They are winners of their last 6 consecutive ball games, including a doubleheader yesterday against South Medford, where they beat the Colts 15-2 and 12-4 in the nightcap. Here's the first pitch to Max Price. That misses inside, and we are underway. Count is 1-0. 5:04 first pitch here in Roseburg. A little bit behind schedule, but that's all right, and a nice day for it. Partly cloudy, 69 degrees here in Douglas County. 1-0 pitch to Price, ripped towards the left side and through for a base hit. Max Price leads us off with a single to get the first inning rolling. I believe that's Price's 3rd straight game with a leadoff single. And it'll bring up Connor Shively, who's been seeing the ball very well as of late. Take you back to yesterday for Shively. In the opener was 4 for 5 with 2 RBI. That was the 15-2 win against South Medford. It was his second 4-hit game of the season. It's the left-handed shortstop for the Falcons. Awaits the first pitch. To be off speed, maybe a bit outside. 1-0 to Shively. Decent lead off of first for Max Price, something that Tillett's going to have to keep track of. The Falcons have only been caught stealing 4 times in 22 attempts so far this summer. Tillett receives the sign from Young, the catcher. We'll introduce you to the rest of the defense for Roseburg in just a moment as that pitch misses wide, 2-0. At third base, it is going to be Gage Perry. Then you've got Johnson at short, Cameron King at second, and Sprague over there at first. In the outfield, A.J. Black, Ryland Glasser, and Trenton Perry is in right. Count 2-0 to Shively. The delivery misses high and away, and Shively ahead in the count 3-0. Was talking about his performance yesterday against South Medford. That's, again, not the only game in which he's reached base 4 times and collected multiple hits on the season, batting .625 for the Falcons, leading the team in that metric. There goes Max Price on the 3-0 pitch. It's going to be ball 4, so Price not going to earn the stolen base for that attempt, but he will wind up in scoring position anyway as Shively works a 4-pitch walk, bringing up Jacoby Takini. Jacoby Takini on the season batting .306 for the Klamath Falls Falcons. 11 RBI puts him at third most on the team. He led the Skyline Conference in RBI this year as just a freshman, earning all conference and all state honors in doing so, and an early RBI opportunity in this contest for Jacoby. First pitch misses down and in below the knees. The count is 1-0 to Takini. Colin Takini waits on deck. So Takini, Reddy's back in for the pitch. Didn't have a huge impact yesterday, but was able to get on base, reached a couple times on an error, worked a couple walks. Wasn't able to get in the hit column as much as maybe he would have liked, but getting on base, and when guys come in courtesy run for him, they typically come into scores. The count's now 1-1. Jackson Tillett looping in a breaking ball about knee-high inside part of the plate, and the count is now even to Jacoby Takini. Tillett set. Second baseman King holding the runner there. And Tillett will take a look over there before delivering the pitch to Takini. Sends a deep fly ball well foul down the left field side. And the count is 1-2. Did, yeah. Light pole ricochet back onto the field. It's quite a bit of foul territory here at Champion Car Wash Field. And look at the dimensions around the ballpark. 320 down both lines and 385 to straightaway center. So almost identical dimensions to what the Falcons are used to back at Kiger Stadium. Pitch misses upstairs to Takini. The count back even now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Still nobody out. Runner at second is Max Price. Shively aboard there at first. Only the top of the first inning. Only just getting started today from Roseburg. Tillett takes his time before coming set. Now is together before delivering the pitch to Takini. Misses inside, actually got him on the front knee, and so that will load the bases for the cleanup hitter, Colin Takini. Price goes to third, Shively to second, and we're going to see Chase Barrett come in and courtesy run for Jacoby Takini.
Running at first base will be Chase Barrett, the batter, the second baseman, number 33, Colin Takini.
Colin Takini, boy, talk about a big performance yesterday against South Medford in the opener. Colin Takini was 4 for 5 with 7 RBI, setting the new single-game high this season for the Falcons. Here, first pitch swing and lifts it high in the sky, right center field. Right fielder Perry comes in to make the catch. Tagging from second is Shively. Tagging to score is Price, and a sacrifice fly and an RBI gets the Falcons their first runs of the ball game. They are up 1-0. Runners will remain at the corners. Chase Barrett stays at first after the sacrifice fly. Like I said, Shively advances to third after Price scored. So give Takini another RBI there. I believe that puts him squarely in the team lead in that metric now. It does. That is his 17th RBI of the season. He's now leading the squad in that number. Here comes P.J. Safford. Right-handed bat from Klamath Union High School. Again, runners at the corners, 1 out. Safford will take a pitch around the knees for a strike. On the move from first is Chase Barrett. They will apply the tag to him, but in the madness, Connor Shively scores from third. Some heads-up base running for the Falcons, trading a run for an out on that play, and they now lead 2-0. Now Safford bats with the bases empty, and again, that pitch was called a strike over the middle of the plate about knee-high, so Safford behind in the count. Is Tillett now able to work from the windup. Shakes off the first offering that Young shows him, and now agreeable as he delivers the 0-1 pitch. Nearly came in and hit Safford. Looked like the slider, and he had to duck out of the way of it. The count is 1-1. Looking at Safford's totals on the season, batting .375 for the Falcons. 13th game of the season, 13th start for P.J. Safford as he rips one foul there. Count a ball and 2 strikes. Has started most of his games at the third base position. Has started 2 games as a catcher this year and 2 games as a starting pitcher. Versatile guy, and the Falcons try to use him every game. Like I said, he started every single one. 1-2 pitch to P.J. is an elevated fastball. Got a piece of it. Fought it off foul. Safford now having to protect in a 2-strike count. Chokes up a little bit, scoots closer to the plate in the right-handed batter's box. The delivery home is bounced again, foul down the third base line. Have to do it again. 1 ball and 2 strikes to P.J. Safford. Ian Meyer is on deck for the Falcons. He's the designated hitter, hitting for the starting pitcher, Hayden Poor. Talk more about Ian in just a bit as the battle for Safford continues at the plate. Settles back in once more for the 1-2. Tillett kicks, fires. That time nearly hit Safford again. Looks like he twisted out of the way of it. I think it was a curveball. Still missed inside, and the count is 2-2 to the third baseman for the Falcons. Tillett delivers. Safford high in the sky, right side. Could be trouble. Diving towards the foul line. It just drifts foul over there. Perry gave chase, but unable to track that one down in foul territory. Good news for Safford as he gets another crack at things. Still staying alive in this 2-strike count. BJ does a good job of getting on base this season for the Falcons. On base percentage at .524, which is third best on the team. It's because he leads the team in being hit by pitches. He's gotten hit 4 times this year. Almost has gotten hit twice in this at-bat alone. Here's the 2-2 to Safford. That one misses well outside, and the count runs full. Safford led his prep team, the Klamath Union Pelicans, in batting average and, well, just about every statistical category for the Pelicans this year, who started off the season really well and still wound up with the most wins in the last 5 years in program history, but still wound up finishing 4th place in the Skyline Conference. Here's the full count pitch to Safford, and that is swung on and missed and will end the inning. But the Falcons do score 2 runs on 1 base hit, no runners left stranded, and no Roseburg errors. To the bottom of the first we go, and the Falcons lead 2-0 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place home. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Ready for the bottom of the first inning, and the Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Roseburg Dr. Randall's Crowns 2-0. And the leadoff batter, Ryland Glasser, he'll be followed by Mason Young and A.J. Black. They will have to go up against the right-hander from Henley High School, Hayden Poor. Taking a look at the statistics for Hayden so far this season, this will be his 4th start of the summer, and he carries a 2-1 record. In 11 2/3 innings pitched, he's given up 6 runs. He has struck out 14 batters. Opponents bat .255 against him, and he has an ERA of 3.0. Has been a nice surprise this season for Falcons fans. Kind of flew under the radar, I think, a little bit during the prep season. Played, I believe, probably 95% of his innings with the Henley JV squad, and did very well. We saw him, I think, for 2 outings at the varsity level during the springtime, but has been very solid for the Falcons this summer, making his 4th start today. Ryland Glasser getting ready to step in for Roseburg as they try to get themselves back even, down 2-0 in the bottom of the first inning. We got some statistics so far for Roseburg, but again, they're only 4 games into the season, so take everything for them with a little bit of a grain of salt. Ryland Glasser is 1 for his first 12 at-bats this summer. First pitch swinging, rolls it right back out towards the mound. Hayden Poor doing a nice job of coming off the hill to make the play at first and record the first out of the inning. Well, this will bring up Mason Young. Mason will be class of 27 at Douglas High School. So he will be entering his junior season next year with Douglas. Awaits the first pitch here from Hayden Poor. Swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. Mason Young to start his summer, batting .273. All three of his hits have been doubles to start the season. Curveball there from Poor, misses upstairs, 1-1. It'll be Young and then A.J. Black, the left fielder for Roseburg. Here's the pitch from Poor. That pitch misses below the knees, the count 2-1. Roseburg today in their orange tops with blue numbers across their back and white trim. They've got gray pants on at home. Pitch from Poor is hit in the air, center field. Max Price hardly having to move out there to put it away for the second out. The Falcons uniforms, their road red tops, which they've worn traditionally on the road this season. Falcons across their chest in blue and white trim, and gray pants for the Falcons. They got their blue caps with the red brim. A.J. Black batting now for the Dr. Randol's Crowns. He's leading the team in batting through the first 4 games, batting .643 for Roseburg. 9 for his first 14 with 3 doubles and a triple to start the campaign. He'll foul off the first pitch he sees from Hayden Poor, and the count is 0-1. Poor gets the sign in from Takini and delivers the pitch. Popped up in the infield. In foul territory behind home plate. Takini having to track it down, and he will make the catch to get out of the inning. Dr. Randol's Crowns down in order in the first inning. The Falcons will carry a 2-run lead to the second on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Top of the second inning, and the Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Roseburg Dr. Randol's Crowns 2-0. Due up this half for the Falcons will be their designated hitter, Ian Meyer, the first baseman, Corbin Hamilton, and the right fielder, Carson Sims. That's 6, 7, and 8 in the Falcons' order. They were able to score 2 runs in the first after only needing 1 base hit to do so. Now, of course, Shively walked, and Takini was hit by a pitch, but only needed that 1 base hit to manufacture the runs. The Falcons were being very aggressive on the base paths in that first inning, which has been pretty typical of them this summer. See if they can get another guy on base here as Ian Meyer steps into the right-handed batter's box. The first pitch is a slider, started inside but broke back across the plate. Nice pitch to get ahead for Jackson Tillett. Tillett, class of 26. For Sutherland High School. He'll be a senior next year as he fires in a fastball. Takini got a piece of it. The count is 0-2. Sutherland is a 3A team. Participates in the Far West League, and in baseball this year they were 9-15 overall, 4-8. They missed the playoffs out of their league. South Umpqua ran the table in that conference, 12-0. Here, Takini sends a ground ball to the left side, gloved in the gap by the shortstop Johnson, and he throws it across the infield, but well late as Ian Meyer beats out the infield single, but that's in spite of the best effort from Johnson over there at short. Tough throw to make, tough play to make, and Meyer aboard at first for the Falcons' second hit of the day. And this will bring up Corbin Hamilton for the Falcons, the 6'2" first baseman. Stands tall in the right-handed batter's box. Ian Meyer, about a 4-step lead off of first as Tillett delivers the pitch home. It misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Hamilton. Taking a look at the season statistics for Corbin so far this year, batting .270 for the Falcons. In that 7 hole, it's been where he's gotten the start more often than not today. So that one rolls foul. Count is 1-1. Hamilton's a good guy to try to just keep a rally going. Is the kind of guy who can really just add a single just about anywhere. Not a guy who's going to collect you a ton of extra base hits, but he'll shoot a single just right at one of the outfielders to keep a rally going. Just a steady approach at the plate for Corbin. Count is 1-1, and the pitch is going to miss wide. Maybe a bit low, 2-1 the count to Corbin. He'll be followed in the order by Carson Sims for the Klamath Falls Falcons. After today, the Falcons have somewhat of an off day. There's no game on the schedule, but it's a travel day tomorrow as the Falcons get ready for a week-long stay in Alaska. It's a pitch around the knees called a strike to Corbin. The count 2-2. They try to backdoor Meyer at first, but he dives back safely. Falcons will begin play in Alaska on Tuesday. They'll play a couple of teams from the 49th state, Palmer and Wasilla, back-to-back on Tuesday, and then a single game on Wednesday with a potential for a championship game for that small four-team tournament on Wednesday as well. This pitch to Corbin. Hamilton chases the off-speed pitch out of the zone, goes down on strikes for the first out in the second inning. This will bring up Carson Sims for the Falcons. Sims has been on a heater as of late. Sims batting .545 on the season. And take you back to his performance yesterday in the 12-4 win against South Medford. Sims was 4 for 4 with 2 RBI. Also had a double in that contest. First pitch on the way from Tillett as he comes set. Here's the pitch. Right down the middle, Sims will take strike one. It's been very interesting to watch Sims change as a player this summer alone. I mean, he shares so many coaches at Henley with this Falcons coaching staff, but his batting stance has changed. He looks more relaxed, and he's really hit another gear this summer. Count is 0-1 to Sims. The pitch is going to be fouled off deep to left field. Now, Meyer was on the move, so I wonder if it was a hit and run or they're going to try to send Meyer. Now with 2 strikes, you might see him try to get a head start to try to stay out of a double play situation, and Sims has got a lot of speed, even coming out of that right-handed batter's box, so it's not a guarantee on a ground ball in the infield. Settles back in. Again, only about a 4-step lead for Meyer off of first until it check on him this time before coming set. And the delivery to Carson Sims will miss well outside. Count is now 1-2 to the Henley junior to be. Next season, Sims, a multi-sport athlete, not only participates in baseball, but also basketball, and is a pretty serious bowler for the Henley team as well, which participated in the state tournament event. Count is 1-2 to Sims. Here's the delivery, goes curveball and fouls it off. Count remains 1-2. Sims is the shooting guard for the Henley basketball team, and then what they call the anchor on the bowling team, which is the guy who bowls the 5th and 10th frames. I learned this by talking to Carson about how all that bowling stuff works, and his dad, of course, was a longtime bowling coach. Covered the state tournament bowling event at the Epicenter this year in Klamath Falls as the curveball misses outside to Sims. 2-2. That was an interesting experience for me. It was, I think, 7 hours of bowling coverage. That's more than I've ever been at a bowling alley in my life. But as we got down to the final championship rounds, even though Henley got knocked out in the, I believe, second round or third round of that event, it was still great. High-intensity bowling all the way down the final stretch. I never thought it could be so entertaining. So that one is fouled off. 2-2. The count remains to Carson Sims. Ryan Douglas is on deck for the Falcons. He is the number 9 hitter. Then it's back to the top with Max Price. Gets the signs from Coach Teeters down there in the third base coaching box. Head coach for the Falcons, Joe Tacchini down the first base line, and Craig Connors in the dugout for the Falcons. As Tillett set once more with the 2-2, trying to find a way to get rid of Sims, but instead he'll roll a ball through the left side of the infield and in for a base hit. As Sims continues his hot streak, Ian Meyer advances to second. Now there's 2 on and 1 out for Ryan Douglas. And for Sims, that one will extend his current hitting streak. Well, now up to, I believe Sims actually missed a base hit in the opener against Medford. So I suppose his hitting streak was now only at 2 games, but was at 6 before that. So hoping to build out another one for Carson. Pretty aggressive lead off of first with the first baseman Sprague not holding him. Meyer not a huge lead off of second. And the first pitch into Douglas misses outside and away, 1-0. The second baseman King standing right on the second base bag, trying to keep Meyer honest. And well, like I said, Meyer doesn't have a huge lead off the bag out there as Tillett comes set. Delivery into Ryan Douglas. Swung on and missed. The count even now. Ball and a strike. Season so far for Douglas. So we take a check on the numbers. Batting .435. He's had a nice turnaround these last couple of games, has Douglas. Started the season hitting right around .230 and has since battled back in a big way. Count 1-1 to him now, and the delivery will miss outside, 2-1. Douglas was 0 for 3 in the nightcap yesterday against Medford, but was 1 for 2 with an RBI in the opener against South Medford yesterday. 2-1 pitch here to Douglas, a curveball. Again, Tillett going front door with that one, 2-2. Starting in on the hands of Douglas, and it just creeps back over the plate. And now Douglas will have to protect in a 2-2 count. 1 out and 2 runners on in a 2-run ball game. Here's the pitch to Douglas, and he will swing and miss on the inside fastball. Jammed him up there, and he goes down on strikes for the second out in the second inning. Now back to the top for Max Price. Price is 1 for 1 today. He would also come in and score a run in that first inning. .295 hitter on the season for Price. He's another one of those guys who's started every single game for the Falcons this season. That list grows shorter and shorter by the day. He's now only joined by Jacoby Takini and P.J. Safford as guys who've gotten starts in every game. That pitch to him misses down in the dirt inside. Both runners on the move. The throw down to third beat Meyer, but it took the third baseman off the bag, and he wasn't able to get around to apply the tag. And so both men safe. Meyer into third. Sims advanced to second. And the count is 1-0 to Max Price. Season for him, you take a look at when he's batting with guys in scoring position. I want to try to pull up those numbers for Price there. Yeah, here we go. He is batting, he hasn't actually gotten a hit with 2 men on base in scoring position yet this season. So hoping to change that here for Price. He's gotten a couple hits with just 1 guy on in scoring position. Batting .333 there. As that pitch misses outside. Count is 3-0. With runners on base all in all this season, Price is batting .167. But here ahead in the count 3-0, he might not need to collect a base hit to load up the bases if Tillett has trouble finding the zone. On deck is Connor Shively. Tillett ready to deliver the 3-0. That was right down Main Street and strike 1. But Price not having to offer up at that pitch. He can still afford to be choosy in a 3-1 count. Doesn't have to be a challenge pitch here from Jackson Tillett either with first base open. Here's the offering. It is going to miss outside. Oh, they called that a strike. Looked about an inch or 3 off the outside part of the plate. The umpire saying you don't get to walk down to first base without me calling the pitch. But Price having to get back in the right-handed batter's box after that one was called a strike. Refocusing up now. Price having to protect. Here's the full count pitch. That one bounced to the plate, and that one will load the bases. All it took was 1 extra one. And this will bring up Connor Shively. Shively walked and came around to score in the opening inning. Like I said, Shively leads the team in hitting .625 to start the year. He's also second on the team in RBI now with 16 on the year, and a prime opportunity here with 2 outs. Bases loaded. First pitch to Shively, lifted, shallow left center field. That one is going to land right between everybody. 1 run comes in to score. Sims will score from second, and Shively slides safely into second. And a 2 RBI single for Connor Shively makes it 4-0 Falcons. And that's been the recipe for Connor all summer long. Bloop base hits the other way. It'll pad the stats. It'll score some runs. And in this case, puts his team up by 4. Meyer scored from third. Like I said, Sims in from second. Max Price advanced from first to third on that RBI double. And in steps Jacoby Tacchini, but not before we get a visit from Coach Patterson for Roseburg. Want to remind you that our broadcast today on mybasin.com is brought to you in part by the Pacific Power Foundation, who in 2024 donated nearly $70,000 to local organizations like the Oregon Tech Foundation, the Ross Ragland Theater, and the UC Davis Foundation. Big thanks to Pacific Power for coming on board for this season of Falcons baseball. Also want to highlight some of the folks who are making our trip next week to Alaska possible. Big thanks to Heartfelt OBGYN back in Klamath Falls for stepping up and helping us get to Alaska. Also want to offer up a thank you to the Eisler Group in Klamath Falls as well. Both of those businesses, be sure you support them because they are supporting us and our trip to Alaska next week. Every single Falcons game from the 49th state will be broadcast live right here on mybasin.com. Jacoby Tacchini getting ready to step in now for the Falcons. He'll bat with 2 runners in scoring position. Connor Shively's at second. Max Price is at third. There are 2 away in the top of the second inning, a game in which Klamath Falls leads 4-0. First pitch to Tacchini. First pitch swing, and it's a line drive into center field. That's going to score Price. Shively gets the windmill. The throw in is a great throw from center field, but Shively is going to beat it in. And a 2 RBI single for Jacoby Tacchini makes it 6-0 Falcons in the top of the second. We're also going to see Chase Barrett come back in and run for Tacchini as well. 2 RBIs on that single for Jacoby. And that is RBI number 12 and 13. 12 and 13 for him on the summer. Now in steps his cousin Colin Tacchini, and Colin earned the team lead in RBI a little bit early, but was actually surpassed by Connor Shively's 2 RBI double. Shively now up to 18 RBI for himself, and Tacchini still at 17. Although a ball in the gap could score Barrett. We'll see as the first offering is on its way. Barrett gets a little bit of a head start. Going to steal second as a ground ball by the third baseman into left field. Barrett will have to pause at second for now. But a 2-out single for Colin Tacchini will bring up P.J. Safford. Safford 0 for 1 in the game so far. He struck out in the first inning, but trying to rectify that here. But he might have to wait a moment. Looks like Roseburg is going to go with a new arm here in the top of the second inning. The Falcons lead 6-0, and they'll have 2 runners on when we come back, and we'll introduce you to the new pitcher for Roseburg and tell you about any other changes. So keep it locked right here on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
Roseburg's got a new pitcher in the top of the second inning, a game in which the Klamath Falls Falcons lead 6-0. The right-hander from Roseburg High School, A.J. Black, coming in to work for the Roseburg Dr. Randol's Crowns. This will be his 3rd appearance of the season. So far in 2 2/3 innings pitched, he's picked up an 0-1 win-loss record. He's given up 13 hits and 10 runs and an ERA of 26.5, although, again, a fairly small sample size in 2 2/3 innings, and most of that is because he had some trouble against the Ole Athletics back on June 16th, the doubleheader against Eugene. In that outing, he got the start, his only start of the summer so far, and he got hammered for 10 hits and 9 runs in only 2 innings of work against Eugene. So, hoping to even out his statistical output a little bit here in the outing against Klamath Falls. Again, 2 outs in the inning, and the 2 men on base are not his responsibility. That's Chase Barrett at second, and Colin Tacchini at first. As P.J. Safford settles in, first pitch to Safford winds up behind him, has to duck out of the way. The count is 1-0. Safford struck out in his first at-bat, but saw a lot of pitches. I'm sure he was looking forward to facing Tillett again, but he'll actually be the first task for Black in relief. By the way, A.J. Black coming in from left field, and Jackson Tillett going out to left field. So just a straight-across swap and no other changes for Roseburg. 1-0 pitch on the way to Safford. Black with a little bit of a slide step, delivers home. The ball kicks off the glove of the catcher Young and rolls to the backstop. That will allow both runners to advance. Barrett to third and Tacchini to second. And the count's now 2-0 to Safford, who will hit with 2 men in scoring position. Top of the second inning, and the Falcons lead 6-0. Just a single 9-inning game today from Roseburg. Thought it might be a doubleheader. That's what the schedule originally said, but just playing 1 9-inning game today. As that pitch misses outside to Safford, 3-0. Probably better for Falcons that way, considering, like I said earlier, they got to get on a plane early tomorrow morning to head to Alaska. 3-0 pitch. Safford can afford to be patient here with 2 outs. That one will miss upstairs anyway, and we'll load the bases back to where we started with Ian Meyer. Safford on base for the first time today, and I believe that will extend his on-base streak. Safford has now reached base in every game this summer, 13 for 13. He joins Connor Shively as the only other Falcon who's reached base every game so far this summer. First pitch to Ian Meyer will have to wait as the right-handed hitter calls time. He's already 1 for 1 in the ball game. Earlier this inning, he actually singled and scored, and Corbin Hamilton waits on deck. Here's the first pitch to Meyer. That pitch misses low and away. The count is 1-0. Again, aboard at first is Safford. At second is Colin Tacchini, and Chase Barrett is at third. He's courtesy running for Jacoby, who reached on the 2 RBI single earlier this inning. That pitch is sliced foul from Meyer. The count is now 1-1. Ian Meyer had a 4-hit game back earlier this summer against Grants Pass. A couple of really dominating wins for the Falcons against the Miners earlier this summer as Meyer takes a pitch outside, 2-1. A quick conference between the catcher and the pitcher. We'll pause the ball game for a moment. Another opportunity to remind you that today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Gino's Cafe on East Main Street. They're open every morning at 6:30, serving their famous breakfast burritos. Those are served all day long, along with other menu items like burgers, monthly specials, and Italian favorites. You can order online at iloveginos.com or have it brought to you on DoorDash. Count is 2 balls and a strike to Ian Meyer. Settles back in after the meeting between Young and Black is over. Young settles back in behind home plate, offers the sign to Black, and this pitch is hit high in the air, right field, and it's going to drift foul. Count is 2-2. Meyer got all the way down to first, has to head on back after that foul ball. Everyone has to go back. Looked like Barrett was already home. Safford was rounding second. It's a close foul ball down the right field foul line, but a little bit of wind blowing in from center field and across towards right, just barely. Mostly it's blowing straight in from center field, which means it's blowing south. So that one's ripped down the left field line. Count remains 2-2. Our vantage point from directly behind home plate at Champion Car Wash Field, facing directly north with the South Umpqua River raging behind us. 2-2 pitch again to Ian Meyer. Here it comes. Another fly ball to right field, although this looks playable for Perry. And he does make the catch to retire the side. But the Falcons add 4 runs in the inning, and they do it on 4 base hits. They leave the bases loaded, and we'll go to the bottom of the second in a 6-0 ball game on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
We drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
Set for the bottom of the second inning, a 6-0 ball game. The Klamath Falls Falcons leading the Dr. Randol's Crowns here at Champion Car Wash Field, Bill Gray Stadium in Roseburg, Oregon. Just about a 3-hour drive from Klamath Falls. Glad to be with you today. I know many of our normal Falcons fans that travel to every game watching online today. Appreciate you for joining us. It's been a tough slate of road games lately for the Falcons, so thank you for finding a way to support them anyways. The first pitch is fouled down the third base side by Zeb Johnson as Hayden Poore gets ahead of the shortstop for Roseburg 0-1. It'll be Johnson, Sprague, and Perry due up this half inning. Curveball from Hayden Poore nearly off the top of the helmet there for Johnson, but count is just even. A ball and a strike. Johnson is he just finished his senior year at Roseburg High School. Puts a jolt into one, deep to left field. Douglas backpedals, but he gets underneath it to make the catch and put that one away. Johnson is the only player for Roseburg to have graduated high school already. Most of these guys, class of 28 and 27, just like the Klamath Falls Falcons. Preston Sprague getting ready to bat now for Roseburg. Sprague also from Roseburg High School, class of 27. Roster made up majority of Roseburg guys as the first pitch misses high and counts 1-0. Roseburg having quite the prep season this year in the highly competitive Southwest Conference. Roseburg won that league as a ground ball sent out to short. Shively on the backhand. Strong throw to Hamilton, but Hamilton can't squeeze it. And that'll go in the books as an error. And that'll bring up Gage Perry. Great play there by Shively on the backhand. Made a strong throw, but for whatever reason, Hamilton just couldn't bring it in cleanly. And this, with Perry stepping in now, runner on first and 1 out instead of what looked like could be 2 outs and nobody on. First pitch, Poore misses inside, 1-0. Perry, one of those few guys I mentioned, not from Roseburg High School. He went to Oakland High School in the 2A, 1A conference. Here's a foul ball flared down the third base side. Count is now 1-1. Oakland also missed the playoffs this year. They finished 5-17 overall and 4-6 in league play. The Umpqua Valley Christian Royals, I believe they are the conference champion there. The Monarchs, pardon me, not the Royals, but still an undefeated league season for them. And, they really ran the table out of that conference. Made it all the way to the 2A-1A conference, or the 2A-1A state championship game where they won that state championship game 2-1 against Kennedy. This counts now 3 balls and a strike to Gage Perry. Runner still at first is Sprague. Poore trying to battle back into this at-bat. Here's the delivery. Goes fastball, grounded out towards second. Takini goes to Shively at second for 1. On to Hamilton at first in a 4-6-3 double play. Gets the Falcons out of the second inning. They'll carry a 6-0 lead to the third on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
the innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
The pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
mybasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Top of the third inning, ready to get started for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Leading off for them is going to be Corbin Hamilton, Carson Sims, and Ryan Douglas. That is 7, 8, 9 for the Falcons due up this half. It's the right-handed hitting first baseman. Hamilton gets ready to step in. He is 0 for 1 today. So we see A.J. Black getting ready to enter the second inning in relief for him. He comes in relief of Jackson Tillett. We can give you the final line score on Tillett here in just a moment as that first pitch to Hamilton misses down and away, 1-0. Tillett exited the game after pitching 1 2/3 innings, giving up 6 hits, 6 runs, all of them earned. He walked 2 and struck out 3. Hamilton lifts a high fly ball on the right side of the infield. The pitcher comes off the mound into foul territory, but unable to make the grab in foul territory. And count is 1-1. Hamilton, there he is. I thought, didn't know if he quite got lost in his way back to the batter's box, but had to track down his bat. It looked like he threw it towards the dugout, anticipating being out, and someone had to go run it down for him. So now he's back ready to go. The count is 1-1 to Corbin, and he awaits the offering from A.J. Black. Goes changeup, gets a swing and a miss from Hamilton. That's not a bad changeup from A.J. Black at all. Really pulls back on the velocity and had Hamilton out in front. Count a ball and 2 strikes. Now Black still from the windup, trying to set Hamilton down again. Here's the pitch. That one is a line drive into left center field. And a leadoff single for Corbin. He'll bring up Carson Sims. Sims 1 for 1 today. He singled and would later score in the second inning. The Falcons scored 2 runs in the first, and they added 4 more in the second. Like I said, Sims has been dominant to start this summer. Second on the team in hitting coming into the contest, 545. He leads the team in extra base hits with 7 doubles and a triple. Has a pretty commanding lead on that category as well. Next guy would be Colin Takini, who's got 5 extra base hits. Here's the pitch to Sims. Rolled towards the right side of the infield. King is going to come up with it. He'll take the easy route and the out at first. But advancing to second on that play is Corbin Hamilton. So 1 away and a runner in scoring position for Ryan Douglas. Douglas 0 for 1 in this contest. But the strikeout looking to right the ship a little bit. RBI opportunity for Douglas. 7 RBI on the season for Ryan. Pretty about 5-step lead for Hamilton off of second base. There's King holding him and a move over to check on him, but he's back safely. It's A.J. Black having that option to throw there to second with King constantly holding it, although it does create a pretty wide gap on the right side of the infield if King isn't able to get all the way home as the pitch is delivered. Here's the offering to Douglas. Gets jammed on the inside fastball and falls behind 0-1. After Douglas, the Falcons go back to the top of their order for Max Price. Shortstop Johnson even joining in on the party over there at second for just a moment before returning to his normal state of play as an outside fastball called a strike to Ryan Douglas, who now falls behind in the count 0-2. Having to protect a little bit. Douglas's front foot closes in a 2-strike count a little bit. Likes to shorten up that stride in a 2-strike count. Black comes set, takes a long look at Hamilton at second before motioning home. Douglas got a piece of it and fouls it back towards the grandstand here at Bill Gray Stadium. And ahead of the 0-2 pitch, again, it'll be Young who goes out and has a chat with A.J. Black. Gives us another opportunity to recognize a couple of our sponsors here on MyBasin.com. Great sponsors like God's Gifts Photography, who will take photos of your team or your individual student-athlete for a great price in the Klamath Basin. You can check them out on Facebook at God's Gifts 2. That's also their website. Big shout-out to Annalise Carlson, has taken some great photos for us during the prep season. That pitch misses upstairs, 1-2. Douglas put up a good battle in his first at-bat, but again ultimately went down on strikes. Still been a good battle here. He's been down in the count 0-2 for some time, fought off 2 tough pitches, then took ball 1 there, and another foul ball here. Staying alive, 1-2. This inning started with the Hamilton single. Carson Sims moved him over to second on the ground ball, and a chance for Douglas at an RBI opportunity. 6-0 ball game in the top of the third inning. That pitch winds up in the turf and gets by the catcher Young. Advancing to third now is Hamilton. So now he's just 90 feet away in a 2-2 count to Ryan Douglas. Douglas will be class of 26 at Henley High School. Going to be a senior next year. Joining other guys at Henley High School like Carson Pimley and Ian Meyer and Connor Shively, all going to be seniors next year for the Hornets. The 2-2 pitch to Douglas is also in the turf, and the count runs full. Good at-bat here for Ryan Douglas. Down 0-2, fought off some tough pitches, works all the way back to a full count. And now a big opportunity for either one of these guys, A.J. Black or Ryan Douglas, to win this battle. Black shakes off the first sign from Young, shakes off the second sign as well. He knows what he wants to go with in a full count. Now he comes set. The delivery is in the dirt, and that'll be a walk. Ryan Douglas board at first, putting runners at the corners for the top of the Falcons order in Max Price. Price has reached base twice today. Singled in the first, walked in the second, has come around to score both times. And for Max Price this season, scoring his team-leading 16th run of the season. Settles into the right-handed batter's box. Price keeps his hand steady, awaits the first pitch from A.J. Black. Here it comes. That one bounces to the plate, 1-0. After Price in the order, it's Connor Shively. It's Coach Sean Teeters, the Skyline Conference Coach of the Year in his first year as head man of the Henley Hornets, offering some signs up to the runner at first. It's Douglas. We'll see if the Falcons have something on the move here. Douglas takes an aggressive secondary lead, but he's not on the move as a curveball is looped in for a strike on the outside corner. Just below the belt. That's a good pitch again from Black. He's tried to hit that location a few times, but it's wound up low every time. But there, finding the zone to even the count against Max Price. Move over to first. Back safely is Douglas. In fact, there's not really a throw. It's just Black stepping off to make sure Douglas doesn't get a head start. 1-1, Douglas is on the move. Off-speed pitch, called a ball outside. Instead of throwing down to second, they check on Hamilton at third, but he dives back safe. And so Douglas will steal second. 2 men in scoring position for Price. Again, that pitch was called a ball off-speed, off the plate outside. So now Price in a bit of a hitter's count here with 1 out and 2 on. Here's the offering from Black, a fastball below the knees, and the count is 3-1. Well, now with first base open, Connor Shively waits patiently on deck. He's the kind of guy who lives off those opportunities, but Price Still a chance to drive in those runs himself in a 3-1 count. Here's the pitch. Price lifts one high in the air, center field. Shallow center. 3 men converge on it, but it's the shortstop Johnson who winds up making the catch for the second out. So now Connor Shively will bat with just 2 men in scoring position and 2 outs. Shively 1 for 1 today. He had a 2 RBI double last inning. He also walked in the first and would come around to score there. Shively batting from the left side, awaits the first pitch from A.J. Black. Here it comes. Shively pulls this one to the right side of the infield, and it's by the diving glove of the first baseman Sprague into right. 1 run comes in to score, and they wave in Douglas from second as well. 2 more RBI for Shively, and his team, the Falcons, lead 8-0. 4 total runs batted in for Shively today. And for him, that puts him to 20 runs batted in so far this season. Brings up Jacoby Takini. Takini had a 2 RBI single himself last inning. He was also hit by a pitch back in the first. So offering to Takini. Inside corner, strike 1. Nice firm fastball there from A.J. Black. Gets ahead of the 3-hole hitter for the Falcons. Colin Takini is on deck for Klamath Falls. Small lead off the first for Shively. Only about 3-step lead as the pitch to Takini bounces to the plate. Kicks away from the catcher for just a moment, but it's enough time for Shively to advance to second. And a 1-1 count to Takini at the plate as Shively advances into scoring position. Jacoby Takini with 13 RBI on the season. Puts him at 4th most on the team. And here's the pitch. Big bending breaking ball from A.J. Black. Started about above the head of Takini, but broke all the way down into the zone for a strike. It crossed the plate about belt high to Jacoby. That was a big breaking ball from Black. Now in a 1-2 count, he can be a little bit picky. He's going to go outside with a slider, but it misses outside. And it's 2-2. If you can go big curveball and an outside slider, that's a good pitch combo for A.J. Black. And again, he'll be a junior next year for Roseburg High School. Agrees with Young on the 2-2 pitch. Checks the runner at second before motioning home. Goes curveball. Takini puts a jolt into one. Center field. Moving over into the gap is Glasser, and he will put that one away for the 3rd out. But the Falcons do add 2 more runs in the inning on 2 base hits, and they leave 1 stranded. They carry an 8-run lead to the bottom of the 3rd on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate.
Bottom of the 3rd inning, and the Klamath Falls Falcons are leading the Roseburg Dr. Randol's Crowns 8-0. It'll be the bottom 3rd of the order for Roseburg due up this half. Jackson Tillett, Cameron King, and Trenton Perry. So Roseburg still looking for their first hit of the ball game. They got a base runner in the last inning, back in the 2nd, but were unable to do anything with it after the error at first base. As Hayden Poore gets ready for the 3rd inning of his start today. Be curious to see if the Falcons worry about the pitch count for Hayden, want to keep him eligible early in the tournament for Alaska, or if they try to ride him out and keep other guys eligible for that trip. But like I said at the top of the broadcast, Hayden has at least surprised me coming into the season as a guy you can reliably count on for a pretty long start, and a quality start at that. So that one is rolled foul. The count is now 0-2 to Jackson Tillett from Sutherland High School, batting from the left side against Hayden Poor. As the 0-2 pitch is on its way, goes two-seamer outside to the lefty, but it drifts outside, and the count is now 1-2 strikes. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Poor. Goes inside fastball and gets the swing and the miss for the first out in the third inning. First strikeout collected by Hayden Poor today. Not your stereotypical strikeout overpowering pitcher, a guy who knows he can pitch to contact and be productive while doing it. But every so often, he'll come inside heat, and that time setting down Jackson Tillett. In steps Cameron King now for the Roseburg Dr. Randol's Crowns. He shows bunt and lays one down the third base side, but it rolls foul, and the count will go 0-1. King trying to go for a bunt single, trying to get something started for Roseburg as they trail 8-0. On the season for Cameron King, batting .375, he is 3 for 8 to start his campaign. Again, only 4 games into the schedule for Roseburg, and they are 1-3 on the season. Had a tough go of it against Eugene back on June 16th. The Ole Athletics defeated them in a conference game 10-0 and 15-8. And then in their other league doubleheader against North Coos, they split against them. They won 8-3 and lost 6-5. That's been all their play so far this season. Now, there is a tournament coming up around 4th of July time here in Roseburg where both of the single-A teams will be competing, other being the Pepsi Bottle Caps, who the Falcons saw earlier this season. The 2-1 pitch swung on and missed from Cameron King. Hayden Poor going to look for a put-away pitch in a 2-strike count. Here's the pitch from Poor. Curveball fouled off, 2-2. But most of their league games coming up in the month of July, it sounds like, for Roseburg. They don't have their full schedule loaded up on the Game Changer app that I'm looking at, but their league includes that Eugene team, the Ole Athletics, like I was talking about, North Coos. The 2-2 misses outside. The count runs full. Of course, the other Roseburg team is in their league as well, and that makes up their single-A classification. Full count pitch on the way. It's looked at for ball 4. Just missed outside. And that'll get a one-out base runner for Roseburg as Trenton Perry gets ready to bat. Perry, the starting right fielder for Roseburg. Perry will be class of 27 at Roseburg High School. Just off the exit as you come off the interstate here in Roseburg. At least that's the way I came in. First pitch is called a strike, 0-1. Taking a look at the numbers for Perry so far. Well, as far as I can tell, actually hasn't played in a game with the Dr. Randol's Crown so far, so I believe this will be his first at-bat of the summer. Counts a ball and a strike to him now with 1 out and a runner on first. Hayden Poor comes set, and the pitch is just below the knees off the outside part of the plate to count 2 balls and a strike to Trenton Perry. Like I said, class of 27 with Roseburg, spent the year with the JV squad for the Indians. 2-1 pitch, misses down and away. An aggressive secondary lead for King down at first. Takini threw down to check on him, but he dove back safely. The count is now 3-1 to Perry. Back to the top of the order next for Roseburg with Ryland Glasser. About a 5-step lead off of first for King. Not terribly aggressive as the 3-1 pitch home is hit in the air, left field. Douglas moving over a couple of steps, makes the catch, and puts away the second out. So with that, go back to the leadoff hitter, Ryland Glasser for Roseburg. He's 0 for 1 in the contest today. He rounded out to the pitcher in the first at-bat of the game for Roseburg. Bats here from the left side. Poor checks on the runner at first. That's King before coming set and pitches. It's a fastball that misses down and in, 1-0. I got to say, I like Ryland Glasser's bat. It's the number 2 pencil bat with the eraser on top. It's a pretty good look. I think Bryce Harper used a bat like that in the big leagues. Here's a pitch. It is a ground ball to first. Hamilton fields it on a hop. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that'll end the inning. No runs, but a runner left on for Roseburg as they trail Klamath Falls 8-0, going to the top of the fourth on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place home. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Getting set for the top of the fourth inning from Champion Car Wash Field in Roseburg, Oregon. The Klamath Falls Falcons leading the Dr. Randol's Crowns 8-0. For Klamath Falls so far in the ballgame, 8 runs on 8 hits. They've committed 1 error. They have left 4 runners on base. For Roseburg today, no runs, no hits, no errors. They have left 1 runner on base so far. Due up this half inning for Klamath Falls will be Colin Tacchini, P.J. Safford, and Ian Meyer. That is 4, 5, and 6 in the Falcons order as we are just about ready to get going here. Looks like it's still A.J. Black on the hill for Roseburg. Now to the third inning of relief for him as he fires in ball 1 to Colin Tacchini. 1-0. Colin so far today has had a sacrifice fly and an RBI. That was back in the first inning. Then in the second, he singled and was left stranded at second. Here's the pitch to Tacchini. An off-speed pitch drifts outside. Count 2-0. Like I said, Tacchini back in that opener against South Medford yesterday. Just an outstanding offensive performance, going 4 of 5 with 7 RBI. He takes a pitch upstairs there, 3-0. Shattered the single-game RBI high this season for the Falcons and had 3 extra base hits, including that 3-run home run in the 7th inning of that contest. Here he takes strike 1 on the outside corner. That was his first home run of the summer, one of only 2 Falcons to leave the yard so far this year, as he will take ball 4 upstairs, and that is how we start the 4th inning. The other Falcon to hit a home run, of course, being Carson Pimley. P.J. Safford ready to step in now for the Falcons, starting third baseman. He's still playing there defensively. And saw P.J. on the mound a little bit as we continue just to kind of think about that game against South Medford yesterday. Safford actually got the start in that contest, and even though he didn't pick up the win, was solid through 3 2/3 innings of work, only giving up 5 hits and 1 earned run. Here's the pitch to Safford. That one misses outside, 1-0. 4 strikeouts in 3 2/3, and again wasn't eligible for the win because of how many innings he pitched. It was actually Max Price who picked up the win in that contest, closing out the game in the final 3 1/3 innings. As Safford hits a fly ball right field, Perry comes in a step and then has to adjust, runs backwards to make the catch. But that'll be the first out in the 4th inning. In steps Ian Meyer for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Meyer 1 for 2 in the contest so far. He singled in the second, and he also flew out in the second, but when he was able to reach base, came around to score. Black checks on the runner Tacchini over there at first before coming set. And the pitch to Ian Meyer is inside. Fastball misses. Count 1-0. Meyer stands tall in that right-handed batter's box. Keeps his hands back So he awaits the 1-0 pitch. Here it comes. Another inside fastball, though this time Meyer offers at it, fouls it off. The count is even now, a ball and a strike. Meyer batting .409 this season for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Hasn't gotten a ton of opportunities, but has really made the best of them. Stepping off ahead of the 1-1 is A.J. Black. Again, had that 4-hit game earlier in the summer. And when you give him an opportunity, he won't make you second-guess it. Here's the pitch to Meyer. Here's a fly ball right side, out of play, foul. Count is 1-2 to the Falcons' designated hitter. And if you haven't figured it out yet, of course, he's hitting in place of the pitcher, Hayden Poore. Modest lead off of first for Colin Tacchini in a 2-strike count and 1 away in the inning. Black comes set, and the pitch home. Off-speed pitch. Meyer swings over the top of it and goes down on strikes for the second out in the 4th inning. And this will bring up Corbin Hamilton. Hamilton 1 for 2 in the game so far. He struck out in the 2nd inning, but added a single and a run scored in the 3rd. Actually started that 2-run rally for the Falcons in that inning. But first we're going to see a visit from Coach Steve Patterson. Looks like he's asking for the baseball. So with 2 outs in the 4th inning, looks like Roseburg is making a change on the mound. We'll tell you of any changes that come for the Dr. Randall's Crowns after we step aside just briefly. Well, maybe not a pitching change. Does Coach just want to hold on to the baseball? And, okay, A.J. Black is heading out of the game. Looks like he's bringing in someone from the dugout. Best I can tell, that's going to be Ja'Kai Myers, but we'll make sure of any other changes here in just a moment. We'll be back. The Falcons lead 8-0 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. So Myers in, Black out.
New pitcher for the Randols, Ja'Kai Myers.
Looks like that's it. So that means he'll be... Top of the 4th inning continues, and Roseburg has a new pitcher. It'll be Ja'Kai Myers coming in for A.J. Black. It looks like just a straight-across swap, best I can tell, so Black has exited the ball game, which means Myers, now entering, will be hitting in the 3-hole on the other side, although we'll get there when we get there. Best not to get too ahead of ourselves. Want to check on the numbers for Ja'Kai Myers coming into this outing. Class of 28 at Oakland High School. Myers is making his 4th appearance of the summer. He's pitched 4 1/3 innings coming into this game. He's given up 8 hits, 7 runs. He's struck out 2, an ERA of 11.31. And again, for Roseburg, not a huge sample size to go off of for him. A young player, just wrapped up his freshman season at Oakland. He's going to go through Corbin Hamilton. And then Carson Sims is on deck. There's 2 outs in the inning and a runner at first for the Falcons. It's Colin Tacchini, who started the inning after a walk. Since then, a flyout from Safford and a strikeout from Meyer. And now the first test for Ja'Kai Myers as the pitch winds up in the dirt. And it'll allow Colin Tacchini to advance into scoring position on the wild pitch. Now an RBI opportunity for Hamilton as he gets ahead in the count 1-0. And again, can't totally give you the final line score on A.J. Black yet. He is responsible for Tacchini out there in scoring position. The 1-0 pitch to Hamilton finds the outside corner. Might have been a 2-seam fastball. Looked like it had a little bit of backside movement back towards the right-handed hitting Hamilton. But Myers has a different delivery than these last 2 guys we've seen. He sort of spreads out all of his limbs before he delivers the pitch. Goes long with the leg kick, throws his throwing arm way back. His glove is coming at you. There's a lot of movement in his delivery as that time fires in a fastball that missed outside. The count is 2-1. Smyers comes set, checks on the runner at Takini before coming together, and now delivers home. Another outside fastball called a strike. He's gone to that location now 3 times, and he used it there to get strike 2. Hamilton now going to have to protect. He's already struck out once today. Now a real aggressive lead off a second for Takini. Pitch home to Hamilton is flared out right field. Right fielder had a trouble with it for a moment, but regathered his feet and made the catch for the third out. No runs, no hits, 1 runner left for the Falcons in the fourth. We'll go to the bottom half in an 8-0 ball game, and Klamath Falls leads Roseburg on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
Getting set for the bottom of the fourth inning. Hayden Poor still out there on the hill for the Klamath Falls Falcons. He'll have to go through 2, 3, and 4 in the order for Roseburg this half inning. It's Mason Young, A.J. Black, and Zeb Johnson. By the way, quick note, A.J. Black did re-enter the game in that last half inning and re-entered at third. And so we'll make some adjustments to the Roseburg order in just a minute. As the first pitch of the half inning is a ground ball out to short. Connor Shively up with it. Routine throw on to first for the first out in the fourth inning. And so here is A.J. Black. Again, has started as the left fielder, then came in to pitch, and now finds himself at third base. Black is 0 for 1 in the contest, popped out in foul territory in his first at-bat in the first inning. Here he takes a pitch inside for a ball, 1-0. Poor delivers the 1-0 pitch. It's flared out to right. Moving towards the foul line is Carson Sims. Makes the catch on the run for the second out in the fourth inning. Poor trying to make quick work of Dr. Randol's crowns here in the fourth is Zeb Johnson. Gets ready to step in. Johnson is the only player for Roseburg who is a post-high school player. Johnson class of 2025 for Roseburg High School. First pitch in from Hayden Poor. A curveball misses upstairs. The count is 1-0. We talked a little bit about Roseburg and their Southwest Conference Championship this year. They were the number 8 seed in the OSAA playoffs as that pitch misses low below the knees. Roseburg won their opening round playoff game 4-0 against Tigard, and then they lost in the second round of the 6A playoffs to Grant 4-3. Popped up out of play foul. The count is now 2 balls and a strike to Zeb Johnson. Johnson flew out to left field in his first at-bat of this game. Poor from the windup in the 2-1 count. Here it comes. Bounces to the plate. Moves to a 3-1 count. Poor has only walked one other batter in this game. Has done a good job of keeping it around the zone. Has produced a lot of weak fly balls today from Roseburg. This time the 3-1 pitch is swung on and missed. It looked like Johnson over the top of that fastball. Might have been a changeup from Hayden, but I think he went with the heat there. Now the full count pitch is on the way. Goes curveball, line drive over the head of Shively at shortstop and into center field. And a 2-out single gets Roseburg their first hit of the ball game in the bottom of the fourth inning. Now it'll be Preston Sprague due up for Roseburg. Sprague will be class of 27 for the Roseburg Indians, looking to help out the Dr. Randol's Crowns a little bit here, maybe kicking into a 2-out rally. They trail by 8 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning, so the sooner they can try to start a rally, the better for them. As Hayden Poor misses outside with a breaking pitch. It was in the dirt. Takini regathers in time. Throw down to second, and they got Johnson trying to advance on the pitch in the turf. And that will end the inning. 1 base hit, but Roseburg can't get it across. And we go to the 5th in an 8-0 ball game. 104.3 and 960 Sports. You got live video on mybasin.com.
We drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
Carson Sims, Ryan Douglas, and Max Price due to lead off this inning for the Klamath Falls Falcons as they lead 8-0 in the top of the 5th inning against the Roseburg Dr. Randol's Crowns. One of 3 teams here in Roseburg that play Legion Baseball, although that'll be short-lived. Teams will still hopefully be around under the Douglas County Baseball Association, which I'll kind of tell that story in just a little while, but Roseburg and Champion Car Wash Field home to not only Dr. Randol's Crowns, but of course the other single-A team, the Pepsi Bottle Caps, who the Falcons played earlier this season in 2 games in which they won 11-0 and 15-0. And of course the AAA Dr. Stewart's, who won their game today. I believe 6-5 was the final against Rose City. They're playing in a tournament up north in the state as well. So congratulations to them for picking up a win. The Docs were off to a little bit of a slow start this summer, but they're righting the ship in the AAA area for the former league for the Klamath Falls Falcons before they dropped down and opted to play single-A ball this summer. All right, here's the first pitch to Carson Sims out of the hands of Ja'Kai Myers. It is a strike right down the middle, 0-1. The count to Sims, who's 1 for 2 today. He singled in the 2nd and grounded out in the 3rd. The catcher, Young, sets up inside to Sims. This time he takes it the other way. That's over the head of the second baseman, King, and into right field. Carson Sims aboard with his 2nd single of the day, make him 2 for 3, and the Falcons have a leadoff base runner in the 5th inning. This will bring up Ryan Douglas, who's without a base hit yet today, but he did reach base in the 3rd inning. He walked and would come in to score. By the way, now with Myers into his 2nd inning in relief, we can give you the final line score on A.J. Black, which we'll do after the first pitch to Ryan Douglas. Here's the offering. That's hit foul by Douglas. Count is 0-1. A.J. Black exited the game last inning after pitching 2 innings, giving up 2 hits, 2 runs, each of them earned. He walked 3 and struck out 1. And so Myers is the 3rd pitcher to enter the game for Roseburg today. The idea for them, trying to get a couple different guys' looks out there on the mound. The pitch to Douglas is popped foul. The count is 0-2 to Ryan. But that was the indication we got from Coach Cody Watkins of the Roseburg Dr. Randol's Crowns that he wants to get multiple guys some work in today against a good lineup in the Falcons. A good chance to gain his guys some experience in a non-league contest. Here's the 0-2 to Douglas. Misses above his head. The count 1-2 now. Lineup turns over next for Klamath Falls. Max Price is on deck. About a 6-step lead for Sims off of first. Fairly aggressive. Takes another half-step lead as the pitcher comes set. And here's the delivery from Myers. Douglas hits a line drive to left field. Tillett has to jump to make the catch. But he is able to make the catch, and in the case, Sims has to scamper on back to first. And that'll be the first out in the 5th inning. Hard ball to get to for Tillett there in left, but a fine play there by the young Roseburg left fielder. And again, Falcons back to the top for Max Price, who is 1 for 2 today. Price singled in the first, walked in the second, and scored each of those 2 times around the bases. He also flew out in the third. So with a runner on first and 1 out, Price looking to add some more here. Move over to first. Diving back safely is Sims. After Price, it's Connor Shively in the Falcons order. Max Price has got 6 extra base hits this year. He hits one to the right side, the big gap on the right side of the infield. That one gets through without any problem, and a 1-out single there for Price. We'll move Sims into scoring position, and we'll bring up Connor Shively. Second hit of the day for Price. He's now 2 for 3. And Shively's 2 for 2. And he scored 2 runs today. He walked in the first, came in to score then, had a 2 RBI double in the second inning, and a 2 RBI single in the third. First pitch to Shively is on its way from Meyer. It's taken high and away on the fastball. It misses the zone, 1-0. Shively, an all-conference recipient in the Skyline Conference for the 3rd consecutive year at his 3rd separate position. He's a versatile player. The 1-0 pitch to Shively popped out of play foul, 1-1. Shively will play just about anywhere you put him. His sophomore year at Henley High School was predominantly a catcher. Same with his freshman year as well. But as a junior, they moved him over to short and still was able to get those all-conference accolades. As he takes a pitch in the turf, that will kick away from the catcher, allowing both runners to advance. Shively now ahead in the count 2-1, and 2 men into scoring position. Sims over there at third, and Price standing at second. Another golden opportunity for Shively with just 1 out. The 2-1 pitch is again in the turf, and it's a 3-1 count to the Klamath Falls shortstop. Aggressive lead off a second for Price, although, of course, he can't go anywhere with the runner at third, but he's going to try to score on a base hit. Shively might just add it. That's a fly ball into center field, down for a base hit. Sims is going to score. Price hot on his tail, and a 2 RBI single for Connor Shively gives him 6 RBI in the contest. And he is 3 for 3. Another outstanding day there for Shively. And we got Jacoby Tacchini ready to bat now for the Falcons. He'll do so with 1 runner on first. That's Shively, and still just 1 away. For Connor, this is now his 3rd game this summer with 4 or more RBI. Here's the first pitch to Jacoby Tacchini. Takes that knee-high inside corner for a strike, 0-1. Shively also collecting his 3rd hit of the game. This is the 5th game of the summer in which Shively has had 3 or more hits. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Tacchini. Hard ground ball to third. Black up with it. He goes to King at second for 1. On the back end, they go 5-4-3 to get out of the inning as Tacchini gets rolled up there. But the Falcons do score 2 runs on the RBI single from Connor Shively. They lead 10-0 as we go to the bottom of the 5th on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need. to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
The pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
mybasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Getting set for the bottom of the fifth inning from lovely Champion Car Wash Field in Roseburg, Oregon. It is a 10-0 game, and the Falcons lead. The Dr. Randol's Crowns do up this half inning. It'll be Preston Sprague, Ja'Kai Myers, and Jackson Tillett. That's barring any changes for the Roseburg squad as Preston Sprague gets ready to settle in against Hayden Poore in just a minute. Poore's been throwing well through the first 4 innings of his start. Quick check of the line score for Hayden Poore in 4 innings pitched. He's only given up 1 hit, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. Poore producing mostly fly balls. 5 fly ball outs through the first 4 innings. He's rolled up a couple of double plays as well. All right, in steps Preston Sprague. A first pitch fastball misses below the knees outside. 1-0. Sprague 0 for 1 in the ballgame. He reached on an error in the second. Poore delivers that pitch, misses wide. 2-0. Sprague getting the start at first base today. Looks to be about 6'2", 6'3", or taller. Batting from the right side is count now 3-0 from Hayden Poore. Sprague will be a junior next season for the Roseburg Indians as he takes strike 1 there on the outside corner. 3-1. Just a lanky first baseman. Waits the 3-1, swings through the changeup. 3-2. Again, Ja'Kai Myers waits on deck. Takini offers the sign to Poore, sets up outside for the full count pitch. This one's hit the other way and eventually falls foul in right field. And the count will remain full, 3-2. Preston Sprague this season for Roseburg. We'll pull up some of the statistics for him so far. Again, only 4 games in. The Dr. Randol's are 1-3. But Preston Sprague off to a decent start, batting .240 to start his summer. 3 hits and a double for him in that span as he takes the inside slider from Hayden Poore for strike 3. Nice pitch location there for Hayden to collect the strikeout, his third punch out of the game. His second punch out of the game. And this will bring up Ja'Kai Myers. This will be the first at-bat of the game for Myers as he comes in as a replacement for Gage Perry. Myers batting .333 this season for Roseburg, and he will take strike 1. Ja'Kai Myers just wrapped up his freshman season with Oakland High School. Here's the pitch. It's rolled out towards short. Shively charging and loses it on the transfer. And that'll be a 1-out base runner for the Roseburg Dr. Randol's Crowns. It'll bring up Jackson Tillett. Started the game as the pitcher and has since moved out to left field.
Number 10, Jackson Tillett.
So Tillett batting from the left side. Now the runner aboard at first. The pitch is in there for a strike. Count is 0-1. As again, Myers over there after the error at short. The 0-1 pitch misses inside, and it's a 1-1 count to Jackson Tillett. He struck out in his first at-bat back in the 3rd inning. Pitch on the way. 2-seamer misses outside, 2-1. After Tillett, it's Cameron King in the order for Roseburg. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning, and the score is 10-0. Klamath Falls leads. Swung on and missed on the 2-1 pitch. Count is now even. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tillett. Set again is poor after checking the runner at first. Quick delivery and gets the swing and the miss. Tillett down on strikes for the second time today. And now there are 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning. And in steps Cameron King. Oh, new batter in the order, pardon me. Looks like it's Landon Stringer. And quickly grounds one over towards second. Colin Tacchini will make the throw to first, and that will do it in the 5th. 1 error for the Falcons, but they don't let it bite them in this inning, and they will carry a 10-0 lead to the top of the 6th next on 104.3 and 960 Sports with live free video on mybasin.com.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends. Yeah! Be great.
Participate.
Getting set for the top of the 6th inning, and our new second baseman into the game for Roseburg, Landon Stringer, will get back out there after he came in and hit for King in the last second of that last half inning. Didn't get a chance to properly introduce Landon Stringer to the ball game. He'll be a senior next year at Sutherland High School, but he is now patrolling second, replacing Cameron King out there. So just wanted to get that out of the way before we introduce you to the leadoff hitter for the Falcons this half inning. That'll be number 21, Colby Medeiros, in hitting for Colin Tacchini. Pitch on the way to Medeiros. Misses upstairs, 1-0. Medeiros with an impact yesterday in Medford in his one at-bat. It was actually a 2 RBI single, so making good use of the short time there for Medeiros. He chops one back towards the mound. Myers leaps off the hill and makes the throw on to first for the out. Medeiros is set down to start the 6th inning. And stepping in now looks to be Hunter Glidden for the Klamath Falls Falcons. He'll be hitting in place of P.J. Safford.
New batter for the Falcons, number 23, Hunter Glidden.
Safford exits the game, at least for now, after going 0 for 2. And the delivery on the way from Ja'Kai Myers. It's a curveball, misses upstairs, 1-0. Taking a look at the season totals for Hunter Glidden as he awaits the 1-0 pitch here. We'll have him for you after this offering from Ja'Kai Myers. Fouls it straight back. The count is even now, a ball and a strike. Hunter Glidden this season batting .500. In a smaller sample size, this is only his 7th appearance of the summer. He's only started in 1 game. This will be his 11th at-bat. But, again, batting .500 through that span as he takes a strike about knee-high outside corner. The count is 1-2 to Hunter. And Ian Meyer is still on deck for the Falcons. No changes due up next, at least not yet. 1-2 pitch to Hunter is in the turf, and it'll be taken for a ball, 2-2. And another pitch on the way. The 2-2 is swung on and missed. Glidden down on strikes in the 6th inning. And this will bring up Ian Meyer. Meyer so far today is 1 for 3. He singled in his first at-bat in the 2nd inning. Came in to score there. Also flew out that inning. and he struck out in the 4th. Pitch from Meyer, inside fastball jammed up Meyer, and the count is now 0-1. So we got Myers on the mound and Meyer at the plate. Ian stands tall in the right-handed batter's box, awaits the 0-1. Got a piece of it, but fouled it straight back. It's now 0-2. And on deck, it'll be Corbin Hamilton for the Falcons. No changes on that front. Curious to see if they have Takini and Safford re-enter the game on defense for the Falcons. I would imagine that's what they'll do, but we'll know for sure on the next half inning. The 0-2 is looked at for strike 3, and we'll find out in just a moment as the Falcons go down in order in the 6th inning, and they go to the bottom of the 6th with a 10-run lead on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home, I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Got some changes for the Falcons in the bottom of the 6th inning. Best I can make him out for you. I want to welcome to the game Hunter Glidden, the new pitcher for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Carson Pimley now in catching. Colby Medeiros is now at second base. Let's see. Looks like P.J. Safford did not re-enter the game at third. It's going to be Ian Meyer in at third, it looks like. Chase Barrett is now in left field. I might just have to edit my book and reintroduce you to the entire defensive lineup. I think that'll probably be more productive for everybody listening and watching on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com. Let's see. So here we go. It'll be Hunter Glidden on the mound. Carson Pimley is catching. Ian Meyer at third. Connor Shively at short. Colby Medeiros at second. And Corbin Hamilton at first. In the outfield, it is Chase Barrett, Max Price, and Ryan Glidden is now in right for the Falcons. So there you go. Those are your changes. And Hunter Glidden ready for his first task in relief. He starts it off with a pitch in the zone that's rolled out to third. Meyer up with it, and the throw on is in time. 1 pitch and 1 out in the 6th. So as Hunter Glidden enters the game on the mound, take a look at the season statistics for Hunter so far. This will be his third appearance of the summer. Has a 1-0 record, win-loss. He's pitched 8 innings, given up 4 hits, 4 runs. None of them were earned. He struck out 5 batters and has a 0 ERA. Again, none of those runs that have come in to score have been earned against him yet this summer. That pitch by Glidden misses well inside. The count now 2-0 to Ryland Gasser, the leadoff hitter for Roseburg. Glasser is 0 for 2 today. He has grounded out twice. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Outside fastball called a strike, 2-1. Glasser's the young man with the number 2 pencil bat. Like I said, I like that bat. I have recently switched to scoring my own games with a number 2 pencil. Was a mechanical pencil guy for a long time until I didn't have a mechanical pencil one day. Had to settle for the old Ticonderoga, and I haven't looked back. I don't know what I was doing all that time on a mechanical pencil, but the number 2 is the way to go, in my opinion. 3-1 pitch on its way from Hunter Glidden. In the zone, right about letter high on the outside corner. Good pitch there by Hunter. And the count is full, 3-2. Due up next is Mason Young for Roseburg. Glidden set, and the pitch. Flared foul the opposite way. Count remains full, 3-2. Ryland Glasser, the starting center fielder for Roseburg. He just wrapped up his freshman season at Roseburg High, and here he works a walk as the upstairs fastball misses from Hunter, and a base runner for Roseburg will bring up Mason Young. And it does not look like Mason Young. It's Azahulin. Believe Asa just wrapped up his 8th grade season. It's a first pitch swing and a fly ball in the infield. Connor Shively puts that one away with ease, and a short-lived at-bat for Asa Hewlin will bring up A.J. Black. Black is 0 for 2 today. A couple of flyouts on the ledger for him. Once a pop out in foul territory to Jacoby Takini, who was catching, has since exited the game. And then another fly ball to a guy who's exited the game. It was, at the time, Carson Sims patrolling right field. Now, of course, it's Ryan Glidden out there. First pitch to Black misses outside. It's 1-0. The 1-0 pitch came in, and did that hit him? It doesn't look like it did. No one is reacting like it did, and the runner at first stayed there. I think Glasser probably thought it did hit Black. I thought it hit Black too, but it must have just bounced off the glove of Pimley, and therefore no one was on the move. The count is 2-0 to A.J. Black. Glidden set, kicks and delivers. Fly ball, shallow right field. Ryan Glidden comes in and makes the catch, and that will retire the side in the 6th inning. One base runner for Roseburg on the walk, but they are still looking for their first run of the ball game. They trail the Klamath Falls Falcons 10-0, heading to the 7th on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, the retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Set now for the top of the 7th inning as we welcome you back to Champion Car Wash Field on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com. It'll be the bottom third of the Falcons order, featuring some new faces that'll be getting their first at-bat this half inning. We'll introduce them to you as they come along, but a familiar face still patrolling first for the Falcons will be Corbin Hamilton. He'll lead things off in the top of the 7th inning. Hamilton 1 for 3 in the ball game so far. He singled and scored in the 3rd, but on either side of that, he's struck out and flown out. And the first offering is swung on and missed, 0-1. The Falcons right now in mercy rule territory with a 10-run lead in the 7th inning. In a 9-inning game, that is the mercy rule. It's 10 after 7, not 5 like it would be in a 7-inning game. So that pitch misses high to Hamilton, 1-1. So Falcons still looking for some insurance this inning. You never want to get too comfortable out there as the 1-1 pitch on the way to Hamilton is swung on and missed. Looked like a breaking ball that was outside. A nice location there for Ja'Kai Myers. The count is 1-2. By the way, staying in the game for Roseburg, we saw come in as a pinch hitter in the last inning as Asa Hewlin. He is behind the dish catching now for Roseburg. Just wrapped up his 8th grade season. And you see that a lot more at the single-A level, guys who just wrap up their 8th grade years, getting ready to head into high school, but always impressive to see young kids like that play up at this level. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Hamilton. Hits that in the air, left field. Tillett in a few steps, puts it away for the first out. Of course, Jacoby Tacchini was in that same boat a season ago, but they were playing AAA ball last year. Don't often see that at that level. But, well, Tacchini was better for it. Was obviously an all-state catcher this year for Henley, so hoping the same for Asa Hewlin. They're not in our conference in the prep season, so hope that he's able to take this and learn from it and tail it into a better start to his high school campaign. That's the whole idea of playing up that young. There is a 14U team here in Roseburg, the Riverhawks, that are playing in a tournament featuring the single-A teams, but opting to play the tougher all-around schedule. The 2-0 now the count to Chase Barrett. No, pardon me. It is Ryan Glidden with Chase Barrett on deck for the Falcons. Pitch into Glidden misses low. The count is now 3-0. Glidden is getting his first at-bat after taking over defensively for Carson Sims in the last half inning. Here's the 3-0 to Glidden. And that'll be taken for strike one. About middle third, knee high to Glidden. You can still be a little bit choosy here in a 3-1 count. By the way, again, hitting in here for Sims, who exits the game after going 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored. Pitch to Glidden, jammed him. He checked his swing, but did not hold up in time. And the count runs full to Glidden. 3-2. On the season, Ryan is batting .235. And one of the few guys who's played in every single game this year. Although he's only started 5 times, this is the 13th game we've seen Glidden in this year as he takes ball 4 inside. Almost hit him, but he worked a walk and will get on base with 1 out. And stepping up to hit now is Chase Barrett after the 1-out walk. Glidden has been good at working those free passes, though. That is the 4th walk collected this season. And that puts him in a tie for 3rd most walks on the season for the Falcons. Again, still early on in the season, so there's not a huge separation between the top guys in a lot of these statistical categories, but still making good work of the at-bats that we've seen Glidden in this year. He takes a decent lead off of first as Chase Barrett steps in, and the first pitch to him misses inside, 1-0. Up next for the Falcons, that long trip in Alaska beginning Tuesday night with a doubleheader and a single game Wednesday, and the championship game in Wasilla being played Wednesday as well. I'm sure the Falcons would like to participate in that one as the 1-0 is in the zone. 1-1 to Chase Barrett. Then they'll play single games at the 529 Midseason Classic in Anchorage. They'll play single games on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday before they crown a champion on Sunday. Now, unlike the tournament in Wasilla, they will guarantee a game on the final day of the tournament to everyone who shows up. They play a 5th-place game, a 4th-place game, 3rd-place game, and a championship game at the Mid-Season Classic in Anchorage as Barrett gets ahead in the count, 3-1. It'll be the 30th anniversary for the Mid-Season Classic next week in Anchorage, and teams from all over the nation, including Kentucky and Omaha, and, of course, Klamath Falls, Oregon, come to this event in Anchorage as Barrett works a 5-pitch walk. That advances Glidden to second and back to the top of the order for Max Price. Price is 2 for 3 today with 3 runs scored. We might have to wait for his at-bat. Looks like Roseburg is going to make a change on the mound with 1 out in the top of the 7th, which means we will step aside and give the new arm time to warm up. Looks like it might be the shortstop for Roseburg. We'll find out for certain in just a minute as the Falcons lead 10-0 in the top of the 7th inning against the Roseburg Dr. Randol's Crowns on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
Zeb Johnson, the new man on the mound for the Roseburg Dr. Randol's Crowns, comes in relief of Ja'Kai Myers. And I believe the other player to come back in and enter the game as Myers left was Gage Perry. Looks like he's going to be patrolling short, replacing Zeb Johnson, who came in from the shortstop position. Let's see if we can find any stats here on Zeb Johnson. Again, only 4 games into the summer for Roseburg. And for Johnson, he is making his first appearance of the summer on the mound. The elder statesman of the Roseburg Dr. Randol's Crowns, again, the only high school graduate on the team. And he'll take over with 1 out in the top of the 7th inning, a game in which the Falcons lead his Dr. Randol's Crowns 10-0. There will be 2 runners on. At second, it's Ryan Glidden. At first, it's Chase Barrett. And Max Price, the leadoff hitter for the Falcons, will be the first task for Johnson in relief. We've got timeout. Let's see, what do we got? Okay, so Gage Perry in at third. Black has moved over to short. Still both those guys on the left side of the infield there. And I think we had something on the field behind second base. Had to get the obstruction off the field before we're ready to play. It looks like we're ready to go. First pitch into Max Price is a ground ball left side through and a base hit. They're waving in Ryan Glidden, and he will score standing. The throw in is a wild one, and the other 2 runners will advance as well. Chase Barrett to third, Max Price to second. And only give Price a single and an RBI on that play, but the Falcons now lead 11-0. As, again, Glidden came in to score from second on that play. Barrett pulled up at third. And now, again, with 2 men in scoring position, who else but Connor Shively, who's already 3 for 3 today with 6 RBI. Pitch to Shively, misses upstairs and away. The count is 1-0. 1 out, I believe, in the inning. It was a fly out to start the inning from Corbin Hamilton. The count is 1-0 to Shively. Pops it foul the other way. 1-1. Shively with 6 RBI today, trying to chase down Colin Takini for the single season high. And he could come get that with a single here. A 1-1 count. Here's the pitch to Shively. It misses upstairs, 2-1. He's wanting him to pitch to him here. Again, a 2 RBI double in the second, a 2 RBI single in the third, and replicated that in the 5th. He also reached base in the first when he walked and later scored that inning. The 2-1 to Shively is a ground ball to short. Up with it is Black, on to first, and a get him there. So unfortunately, Shively not knocking in both runs, although he does get 1 RBI. Falcons now lead 12-0, and that matches the single game high for any Falcons player, matching Colin Takini at 7 runs batted in this contest. Here's Carson Pimley, now with 2 outs in the inning and a runner at third. Pimley hitting in for Jacoby Takini. We get more stuff on the field. What do we got going on over there, guys? We've got coaches coming out. There's some part of a tree that's over the right field fence. There's multiple pieces. They're making Perry a landscaper out there in right field. Can you get some help, you guys? We got people talking about it on the mound. The home plate umpire is having the right fielder come in. What's going on? There, Ian Myers going out to help, up and out of the Falcons dugout. Are they still throwing stuff? Can you see it?
I don't see it anymore, but yeah.
Oh, boy.
Looks like that was a water bottle.
So home plate umpire, it looks like he's going to go all the way out there to have a conversation with some hooligans over the right field fence. It looks like some parents might be joining him.
Those are a couple of his coaches for Roseburg for dogs.
All right, so we got some folks over there to take care of it. I don't know if I've seen that one before. Pieces of wood on the right field. All right. Round of applause for the home plate umpire, everybody. All right. Looks like we are about ready for the at-bat for Carson Pimley. Like I said, he took over catching duties for Jacoby Tacchini, who exits the game after going 1 for 3 and a couple of RBIs on his single in the second. But this will be the first at-bat for Pimley so far in the game. First pitch misses high and in, 1-0. There will be a runner at third, and that is Max Price. The Falcons still in front 12-0. 1-0 the count to Pimley here. And the delivery from Johnson again misses high and in. The count is 2-0. After Pimley in the order, it's Colby Medeiros who waits on deck for the Falcons. Zeb Johnson delivers the 2-0. It's a curveball that misses inside. Good location there for Johnson. But in a 2-0 count, that one's easy for Pimley to lay off, and he gets ahead 3-0. Next offering on the way, another curveball and another miss. A 4-pitch walk to Carson Pimley will bring up Colby Medeiros. So now runners are at the corners with 2 outs for Colby, who is 0 for 1 today. This will be the 7th game played for Medeiros. This will be his 6th at-bat. He's batting about 700 coming into this at-bat. Started the game at 750, although, again, a small sample size for him as that pitch misses upstairs, 1-0. Medeiros, the lone Bonanza Antler on the team. Bonanza missing the 2A, 1A postseason. It was actually Cross Point Christian School who came in and took the 3rd automatic bid out of that conference in their first season as a program built with mostly freshmen. Actually came in and knocked off the Antlers a couple of times and took what had been their playoff spot for the last number of seasons. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Medeiros, misses in, 2-0. Although with Colby coming in, one of the guys from the outlying county schools in Klamath Falls or Klamath County, hope to see some more of those guys come out. I want to inspire some of the Lost River guys and the Cross Point Christian guys to come out as Medeiros lifts one into the air, right side foul territory. It'll land in foul territories. The count 2-1 now to Colby. A lot of talent in Klamath County, but so far have really only gotten mostly Henley and KU kids to come out. Colin Tacchini from Lakeview last year was a nice surprise. Had a couple of Mazama kids last season, but again, mostly Henley and KU for the Falcons this year. The Bonanza Antler thrown in there is a nice little wrinkle. He's ahead in the count 2-1. Medeiros will take strike 2, a fastball bell tie on the inside corner. And the count is even. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 runners on, 2 outs in a 12-0 ball game, top of the 7th inning, the Falcons lead. Johnson looking in, gets the sign from Hewlin. The pitch is a curveball that's lofted foul right side. Count will remain 2-2. After Colby Medeiros in the order, it's going to be Hunter Glidden. But Medeiros looking to find a way to get on base here. The 2-2 misses in, gets by the catcher Hewlin, breaking for the plate and scoring is Max Price. And advancing to second on that same play is Carson Pimley. Falcons extend their lead out to 13-0 and a runner in scoring position in a full count to Colby Medeiros. Medeiros, a multi-sport athlete for Bonanza, also plays basketball. That team making the state tournament this year. Medeiros flares one foul again. The count remains full, 3-2. It's probably one of the more exciting basketball teams to watch in the whole basin this year was that Bonanza squad. Medeiros was a big part of that. This time, though, comes up empty on the full count pitch and will go down on strikes to end the 7th. But the Falcons do add 3 more runs, and they only need 1 base hit to do it. And they leave one runner left stranded, carrying a 13-run lead to the last of the seventh and a chance to close out Dr. Randol's Crowns after this on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
We drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Getting set for the bottom of the seventh inning, a game in which the Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Roseburg Dr. Randol's Crowns 13-0. Due up this half for Roseburg as they try to score 4 runs and extend the ball game. It'll be Zeb Johnson, Preston Sprague, and I believe Gage Perry will be back in that 6-hole for Roseburg this half inning. We'll make sure of that in just a moment. As Zeb Johnson gets ready to swing the bat a bit for Roseburg here. So far today, 1 for 2. He did fly out in the second inning, but singled in the fourth.
First batter for the Randolls at the bottom of the seventh, number 3, Zeb Johnson.
Johnson batting from the right side, going to work against Hunter Glidden. And the pitch from Glidden, an inside fastball, misses off the plate, and the count is 1-0. Maybe a little bit low as well. It was right around the knees for Johnson, but kind of borderline going north and south, but was certainly inside. And the 1-0 pitch, Johnson showing bunt, and Glidden misses the zone. The count 2-0. Looking at what's coming up next for the Roseburg Dr. Randolls after this game today against Klamath Falls is, well, you have to hold that thought for just a second as Johnson ripped a shot down the left field line. He's going to try to extend this into a double, but, oh my goodness, Chase Barrett throwing a dart from left field to cut down the runner, trying to advance a single into a double. That throw was money from Chase Barrett in left, 1 away in the 7th inning. This will bring up Preston Sprague. Actually, nope, it looks like Gage Perry is hitting in the 5 spot here for Roseburg. Here's the first pitch to Perry, popped up behind home plate. Pimley going to watch that one drift out of play. And the count is 0-1. Was giving you an outlook on what's up next for Roseburg after the games today. They'll be back in action on Tuesday next week. They've got a road game against the North Medford Mavericks, a member of our league in Area 4. As the 0-1 is taken for a ball upstairs. After that game against North Medford, they will play a game on Wednesday back at home against the Eugene Ole Athletics, and then they'll play their counterpart here in Roseburg to close out next week on Friday, the Pepsi Bottle Caps. As that pitch misses low and away, the count is 2-1 to Gage Perry. He is 0 for 1 in the ball game so far today, grounded into a double play back in the 2nd inning. Here's the 2-1 from Glidden. Misses outside. Count is 3-1. Can't quite figure out who's on deck for Roseburg. I believe it's going to be Myers, but we'll just have to see in a moment. The 3-1 pitch taken for a strike. A nice find on the outside corner of the zone, and the count runs full. 3-2. Hunter Glidden has thrown well since coming in relief of Hayden Poor. The 3-2 is popped foul out of play, and we'll do it again in a full count. And Hayden Poor, he set Glidden up real nicely in this contest. Poor would be online for the win today. as long as the big lead holds for the Falcons with one out here in the 7th. A fly ball deep right field. Glidden having to get on his horse, go back, but he makes the catch for the second out of the inning. And this will bring up Ja'Kai Myers. Myers 0 for 1 today. He reached on an error back in the 5th inning.
That was number 13, Ja'Kai Myers.
Myers again from Oakland High School. So he awaits the first pitch from Glidden. Pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. 0-1. Glidden elevates the fastball to produce the swing and the miss there. As Roseburg down to their final out of the ball game today. Glidden looks in, gets the sign from Pimley. Pimley gives the location outside, but Glidden misses inside and actually hit Myers. So the game will continue with 2 outs in the 7th. And it will bring up Don Melling. This is still Jackson Tillett. Pardon me, batting from the left side here. Tillett's 0 for 2 with a strikeout today. The count is now 1-0 after that pitch misses outside from Glidden. 1-0. Apologize there for Tillett for not recognizing him properly there. But again, strikes out in the 3rd and 5th innings. 1-0 pitch in the zone. Nice find there on the inside corner from Glidden. 1-1. About a 3-step lead, 4-step lead for Myers off of first. Glidden not worried about him, though, as a fly ball, shallow center field. This should do it. Shively settles underneath it, puts that one away, and that will end the ball game. The Klamath Falls Falcons come to Roseburg, and they'll leave victorious 13-0. A brief post-game show coming up here in just a moment, so stick with us on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Final score here from Champion Car Wash Field in Roseburg, Oregon. The Klamath Falls Falcons defeat the Roseburg Dr. Randol's Crowns 13-0. Final line score for the Falcons, 13 runs on 12 hits. They commit 2 errors, and they leave 7 runners on base. For Roseburg, no runs on 2 hits. They also commit no errors, and they leave 4 runners on base. The winning pitcher today for the Falcons, one Hayden Poor, going 5 innings, picking up the win after allowing just 1 hit. And he struck out 3. No runs, of course, in the contest for him. The losing pitcher today is Roseburg's Jackson Tillett, pitching the first inning in 2/3, giving up 6 hits, 6 runs, all of them earned. He walked 2 and struck out 3. Notables for the Falcons include an outstanding performance from Connor Shively today. He finished 3 for 4 with a double, 2 runs, and 7 RBI. Those 7 runs batted in, again, matching the single game high for any one Falcons player this season. Shively really turning in a gem today. He was helped out by Max Price, who finished 3 for 4 with 4 runs scored and an RBI. Carson Sims was 2 for 3 with a couple of runs scored as well. And single base hits from Colin Tacchini, Jacoby Tacchini, Ian Meyer, and Corbin Hamilton rounded out the 12-hit attack for the Falcons today. Only 2 hits for Roseburg, both of them credited to Zeb Johnson. Everyone else with goose eggs in the hit column as the Falcons come away with another resounding victory, and they will carry a 7-game winning streak all the way to Alaska. Their first game in Wasilla is coming up on Tuesday. They'll be playing Palmer and Wasilla for a 5 o'clock and 7:30 starts. That is Pacific time and Alaska Daylight Time for those Falcons fans who may be traveling to Alaska. It's a 4 o'clock start and a 6:30 start. But again, Alaska time an hour behind us here on the West Coast. Hope to see lots of Falcons fans make the trip, but if you can't make it, want to give a shout-out to Heartfelt OBGYN along with the Eisler Group for sponsoring our trip to Alaska, which is coming up on Tuesday. I'm getting on a plane early tomorrow morning, so that's why I'm keeping this post-game show short and sweet. The Klamath Falls Falcons winners 13-0 against Roseburg today. Want to thank everybody who made today's broadcast possible, both head coaches for the team, Sean Teeters, of course, for the Falcons, and Coach Cody Watkins, his assistant Steve Patterson, making sure I had a place to be up here in the press box. Also want to thank our official scorer today, Mike Safford, for making sure I know what I'm talking about up here in the box. And thanks again to you for making sure that I've got an audience and I'm not just talking to myself up here in the booth. Appreciate you for joining us, whether it's just been today or it's been all season long for Falcons baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports. We'll be live from Alaska on Tuesday afternoon as the Falcons take on the Palmer Road Warriors. But until then, my name is Josh Eldridge. Have a great rest of your Sunday evening. So long and good night from Champion Car Wash Field in Roseburg, Oregon.